Why aren't you in your booth?
I don't know. The booth is like a little dark hole. I like the office. I get the view outside.
Right. And you look and you're better looking in the light like that.
That hey,
It's all about the
someone said
lighting and the hair. We could do your hair could have its own talk show. People just would show up and talk about it.
I think that was a big topic of conversation for Chesapeake, that it actually had movement this season.
Hello, friends. Welcome to my channel. I am Brent Miller. I am joined here today by Andrew the Man Francis, who you all know from the Ninjago community as the voice of Morrow. What you guys don't know is that me and him, we literally it's been over an hour or something, like catching up. We haven't seen each other in like 2 years. So it's just been like, we've just been talking so much, but I'm like, dude, we really gotta get this done.
Gotta get into this. You gotta get it out there.
Obviously the Ninjago community now knows that you are replacing Kirby as the voice of Cole.
Stepping in. I like to say stepping in, just because nobody can replace Kirby, as you know.
That, you know what, that is way better. You know, I should have had you do the intro, because that's way better. Yeah, obviously, man, like, first of all, like, we spoke before, but obviously welcome to the family in a different way. I personally still think Morrow is like one of the top villains, and I know from all the social media that I get that people loved Morrow. So like,
I think he's master of wind. I think that's why I've been looking. Yeah.
You don't know your own power?
It's been a little while, Brent.
Yeah,
it's been a few years.
Don't worry, dude, man. I don't know anything about this show.
Sure you don't.
So I know originally back in the earlier days, you really wanted to be a ninja, like all of us obviously did.
Most definitely.
Full circle, you now are one of the ninja, and obviously through the most horrific circumstances. So I want you to walk me back. I want to ask some really personal questions, if that's all right. And if you don't want to answer any of this stuff, that's cool. But walk me back first to where you were when you heard the news about Kirby.
No, I was on set. I think we were doing a very COVID protocoled web series called Dentist, which is actually doing really, really well right now around the world. And this news came in that Kirby had passed away. And I was speechless, floored, shocked, heartbroken.
Yeah.
I mean, every emotion just rushed through me. I mean, you and I have both known Kirby for 20 years, 25 years. I mean, in the statement that I put out about Kirby, I looked up to the guy. We were in X-Men Evolution together, and I mean, he was Cyclops. He was Kirby. I mean, like, he was. There was actually a time when I was even maybe when I think I was like 17 or 18 and moving out. I was actually maybe going to move in with Kirby, or like he had a townhouse at Tinseltown here, actually very close to where I live.
Yeah.
He's been a huge part of my life. He was one of my idols. I looked up to him. He played that leading man role that I wanted, and then to hear that he had passed away, it was like losing. It was losing one of our voiceover family here in Vancouver.
I was right here in my booth. Vincent, who plays Kai, as you guys all know, called me and told me, and he's like, Kirby's gone, man. And I'm like, what? Like, you just go into like a state of shock, right? Like you're just
paralysis almost.
Yeah, like, yeah. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is a joke, right? And obviously, fast forward, you have some time to deal with it. The Lego people are deciding what to do with the character. You know, obviously, like Tommy Andreasen a couple days ago put out a whole list of things they could have done with the character, right? And then which was very helpful to the community. I think, like, it was totally awesome.
He read that statement to me before he put it out there. He said, hey, this is what I'm thinking about it, or what I'm thinking about saying, and what do you think about this, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, man. Tommy, by the way, has been an absolute champion in this process. You know, I think he's handled it with such extreme grace, and he's been super, super kind to me. I'm very, very grateful for Tommy.
He's super fun to hang out with too. He's super cool. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, in person, he's super fun. Anyways, do you remember the actual day that you got the audition, and like what your feelings were when that finally came through?
It was a day filled with mixed emotions. You know, as a voice actor, you want to work, and Ninjago is such a huge property and a huge show. It was a huge opportunity. but at the same time, there's the conflictedness of, you know, do I audition for this? Like, is it okay to do, like, is this
Right.
all right? Would Kirby have wanted this, you know? And so all those things went through my head. And in the end, I thought, you know, I would make Kirby proud. You know, I love all the people that are a part of the cast, and I'm gonna audition for it. So it took some contemplation. You know, it took
Right.
some meditation and some prayers, and I came to the conclusion that I think that I would be a good successor for that role. And I think that Kirby would have wanted someone who would do the character justice, and also, you know, has some experience in voice acting, all that kind of stuff,
Right.
and will bring the best to Cole. So all that ran through my head. But yeah, it was a decision, no question.
Okay. So you decide to audition for it. You submit your MP3. I'm imagining at that point, or was that a right to in-person audition? Do you remember?
I think it was an MP3 to start, and then we did 3 or 4 rounds of in-persons.
3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah, as they cut characters, or sorry,
Wow.
as voice actors down and down and down. Yeah.
Wow. That's not normal people. Normally it's you got a call back and then you get the call. There's not like 3 or 4 callbacks. So
Yeah.
so it kept getting narrow and narrow, and then finally you get the part. What are your emotions at that point? Because I imagine you're going through this like super happy, but you're also like, should I be happy? Like this, a sadness happy, really, right?
It was like there's I've never experienced something in my life that was so sad and happy at the same time. I think that tops it,
Right.
because I was so excited to be on Ninjago, which is such an amazing property, 10-year legacy, all of my friends in the booth. But at the same time, I knew that, you know, when this came out and when it was going to be announced, it was going to be taken in a lot of different ways, you know.
Right.
Now, thankfully, and this is a testament to the amazing fans of Ninjago, they have been so incredibly supportive. I have been absolutely like, it's like it actually chokes me up a little bit, you know, that they've been so, you know, welcoming to me, you know, as stepping in as Cole, you know.
Yeah.
In every message that I've received on Twitter or on Instagram, it's been, you know, rest in peace, Kirby, but Andrew, we know that you'll make him proud, you know.
Yeah.
And
They also know you the way they also know you killed it as Morrow. So they know you're
yeah,
a good actor, right? They know that first of all. But
yeah, that helps. Yeah.
I haven't seen one negative thing about the whole situation on social
I
media.
haven't either. Not one negative thing.
Not one, which is a testament to all the people that love this show in the community. But I got to tell you, when it first happened, a lot of division. When Kirby first passed, there's a lot of people saying, if they replace Kirby, I'm never watching the show again. If they do this, they do that, I'm not like. And it was like, oh my,
I didn't know about that.
oh yeah, a lot of people like this was a tricky situation for Lego and Ninjago,
which Tommy laid out in that statement, I think, quite eloquently.
Yeah, he did a great job at it because those were the options. Those really were the options. Like if Kirby, like, would I have liked to see Cole's character retire and go off into the sunset and have a magical ending? Yes. But like Tommy put in the thing, that wasn't possible because there was no lines or good send off. He would have had the worst character send off ever, right? And
100%.
yeah, so you
getting kicked in the throat and being a mute for a whole season. I mean, like,
that
when the fans know what happened, it would have been a band-aid, if even that, you know what I mean? Situation.
Really, a recast was the only choice. Now walk me through what I understand, because I have not heard your Cole, and people don't know that I haven't actually heard what you've done, because
we did one at a time.
Yeah, you mentioned about going in the booth, being with your friends, but we haven't even had that chance yet. We haven't had a chance to high five about it or anything, because, well, even then that would be weird. Like high five for the part, it's awkward. The whole thing is
but
awkward.
I like when the world was normal, I would have walked into that session. We would have had a moment of silence, many moments of silence for Kirby. We would have all done the session. We probably all would have gone out for lunch. We would have, you know, talked about his legacy, talked about Kirby, shared stories, and talked about how this transition had gone through and now was going to go forward. But we didn't, as you said, have that opportunity. So much so that when I was coming out of one of the records, you know, because if the fans don't know, we've been recording during this time before the announcement actually came out. And I walked out, and Kelly, who played, you know, Kelly Metzger, she was outside waiting to go in because only one person is allowed in the waiting room at a time. And I said, "Oh, I was doing Ninjago." And she said, "Oh, cool. Who do you play?" It's on one of the last records that we did of
Yeah.
that block, right?
Yeah.
So for not even the main cast to know who was
Yeah.
stepping in, there was a lot of emotion in me, like almost like slipping in the dead of night to play this thing, which is not a good feeling, you
You're
know?
right. Well, but I knew right away. Like me and a few people
Yeah.
knew. I don't know how maybe I'm just in a loop, but I don't know. But I found out right away. We had a
Yeah.
conversation for quite a long time about it. Actually, I remember
Mhm.
like you were feeling really hesitant about the whole situation. Going, it's just so stinking awkward because I don't know how to act towards this great news to be a part of this, but under the most horrible, and it's like all we could do as the community that's involved is welcome you, right? Like obviously we want like that part to go. The show must go on, as showbiz says.
They say, yeah.
But I think about Kirby almost daily. I'm on a microphone all the time, so I think about friends and voice actors, and he come, hey buddy, that it comes up to
Yeah.
me all the time. So, and speaking of doing that sort of thing, when you went for the part, were you trying to do Kirbyisms in your version of Colt? What should the fans expect when they hear your take on the character?
It's a good question. So when it came down to it, uh, my voice was not actually, when it came down to, there was I think 2 or 3 left in the final audition callback,
Yeah,
and I believe that my voice was not the strongest Kirby impression, I guess you could say,
right.
right? But I did do an extensive amount of research learning Coleisms, right? Like, what do you even think about that? Like, there's certain things that how Kirby would perform
Yeah,
that would make Cole, right?
right.
So, I mean, I tried to stay in his age, like his vocals sort of range in that way, a little bit of rasp, you know what I mean? He'd talk back, and just the way he would answer things or he would say things. I mean, I was constantly, and for the first few sessions, I had my phone next to me with the Cole compilations so I could listen to a few things and then jump back into it. But what the fans should expect is a voice that is not Kirby's, because Kirby had such a unique voice and talent that no one could be Kirby the same as Kirby was Kirby as Cole.
Right.
But they will get the same type of Cole. Cole is still written the same way. It's going to sound close, and there are going to be the inflections of Cole, but it will not be a complete impression of Kirby, right?
Are
Because
you
I, first of
nervous?
all, don't think that was the way to go, and I can't do it. It's
Are,
just
are
not
you
possible. I don't think anybody could.
are you nervous about the first time you heard, or you think that the reaction online has settled that?
Um, there's still an element of nervousness, because I don't necessarily know what they're expecting.
Right.
The fans, if they're expecting a full-on, wow, that just sounds just like Cole. It's not. And I'm gonna flat out say it doesn't sound exactly like that. It's just my rendition of Kirby's performance as Cole, as Andrew Francis playing the character. So yeah, there is some nervousness now. There's open arms. We're so happy. We hope that you're going to do a great job. Whether what comes out and the voice being a slight bit different, and maybe it's not giving them the same feeling that it did, and it won't, because it's not the same voice, and
Right.
it's different. There is some nervousness towards the reaction to that. I mean, what I've seen so far from the fans is that they are kind and generous with their spirit, and so I expect that to continue. But that doesn't mean that there isn't still an element of nervousness that they won't necessarily love what I've brought to the show. So I think that I've done the best I could and put my best foot forward with all the help from Tommy and James, our voice director, and everybody else who has been involved. But there's definitely an element of nervousness for when people first hear it. Yeah.
And honestly, because we haven't been there, like I wasn't around you in the booth to help you. Like if all like we 10 years of doing this, and you like, well, would Kirby have done it like this or like this? We would have been there. The castmates who've done it from day one would have said, oh, he would definitely do it the second way. Like we
I
weren't
didn't
there
get
to
to
help
play
you.
off. I didn't get your
Yeah.
advice, and I didn't get to play off of you of how this kind of flow goes. You're 100% right. And for those people who don't, you know, and most people, you know, who are watching the show, the change is that we're all in a room together doing it, and now we're in one at a time, and you're going line by line by line. I'm not hearing how Zane is saying the line, and then I'm working off of Brent's performance as Zane and working off that.
Yeah.
We're doing my line maybe 3 times in a row. They take the top choice. We do my next line. You know,
Yeah.
there's never a read in. There's never I look back at it and it's like we were doing a play before almost, you know, like the bad guy's playing the bad guy and the hero's playing the hero and the other character's doing this. And there was that kind of element where now I had to step in, play this character that, you know, I did as much research as I could, but I didn't have your guys' advice, and I didn't have the energy of the scene and all of us working together, that camaraderie that really brings Vancouver Voice together. And that was nerve-wracking and scary and sad. And yeah, and you know, I think it probably would have been better than it was if we were all in a room together and I had that advice. I still think it's going to be absolutely great, but it would have been very helpful to have had that support.
I'm going to step in and say, honestly, for your sake, it would have been better, but for our sake, it was better to do the way it happens, because I think if we went back to that first session and we had everybody in a row on our normal mics, and then there was that microphone that Kirby's supposed to be at, that would have been really hard to just go back to full cast while you're mourning that and want to feel good for you, but also feeling terrible that that microphone belonged to Kirby, right? So for me, doing it alone allowed me to just kind of get over it my own way. And I'm nobody's still over it, but at least as time goes on, it gets easier. But when I'm alone, I don't have to see his face or see his atmosphere. You know what I mean?
You're gonna look over and
there he is, and he's gonna say some joke or show me something funny on his phone or whatever, right? Like it's so anyways, so I totally feel bad for you for that, but I think for the cast it was probably good for the do I want to record something with you tomorrow? Yeah, I'm ready for that now, to get the cast back, right? Like that would be great. But it was nice for our sake, I think, the people that like are used to acting with him, that we had a break, because it would have been real tough, man. Like that.
Well, I'm glad that there was a positive in that, because it was no doubt very difficult and very tough, because it was like a secret, you know, that I was holding on to, you know, like where the cast didn't know it, no one knew it, you know. But I'm glad that it benefited the rest of the cast, so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I'm just speaking for myself, but I imagine, that they would be feeling the same. Like when if we do more Ninjago and we all get back into a room together, it's going to be different because time has gone on, right? Like a lot of time will have gone on. But it would have been real tough because, you know, we can't say what we've recorded, but there's been stuff that's been recorded obviously with you, and you know, it's awkward. Like I've done stuff in my own booth for Ninjago, and I love doing what you say, feeding off of each other, and I definitely know I could have helped you with, like, he would have done it like this way instead or whatever, and I feel bad for that opportunity, but for my own personal mourning, it was nice to leave that room behind for a while, you know.
I understand that.
If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Of course it does.
So obviously, like, not only are you taking on like a role, but you're taking on a huge franchise. What are your hopes personally, without giving any spoilers for anything? What would you hope for now that you get to be a part of this, like as one of the ninja? What are you for the Ninjago franchise going forward? What does Andrew want to like see happen?
10 more years of Ninjago. I don't know. I want it to be the best show possible. I want the fans to enjoy the storylines. I want to eventually, now that we have been past sort of, you know, the initial mourning period of Kirby's passing, to get back into a room with people who I consider my family, who I've known for between 20 and 30 years. But I want the best for the show, you know, whatever that is. yeah, I want to do the best job I can. I want to uphold Cole's legacy and Kirby's legacy and what he has built through Cole as best I can. And yeah, I'm a voice actor. I'm a performer. I'm a creator. I want to work. I want to do
Right.
the job. So I would love to do this job for as long as I can. So I want it to be good, and I want it to go for a long time, and I want Kirby to be proud of it. Those are the things I want.
And my answer, if we Zanified it, would be I want 10 seasons as Zane as the lead. I want to see Zane's face on every single toy box. I want a Ninjago movie with Zane having the most lines. I want to go to every single convention Ninjago related, which currently is 0.
That I want to go. I mean, I look back, and I'm like, wow, like Comic-Con looked pretty fun. That would be
Oh,
that's always been on my bucket list, is
it
to
was
do a
sick, man.
Comic-Con. So
Comic-Con was
yeah.
amazing. I loved meeting, like, people came in the autograph line dressed up as the Overlord and dressed up as ninja and characters. It was just like,
Yeah.
whoa, man, this show is pretty awesome. Like, people are like legit fans. They literally are. They're some of the best fans and best people and friendly people. Like, my community of these people are all amazing. Like, I only do videos for them. YouTube, you don't make money on YouTube unless you're doing a ton of it. And
Right.
so it's just nice that they'll like this video and they'll subscribe
Right.
and get notifications. No, I'm just
Hit that subscribe and like and subscribe.
but they're just honestly good people. I'm glad that I got a chance to sit down with you and talk about this character. That's obviously, this is an awkward conversation to even have. Do you have anything that you would like to say that I may not have asked you, though, to them?
Well, I want to say that I miss the cast. I've seen, I think, maybe 2 or 3 of you in person over the last couple of years. But what I want to say to the fans of Ninjago is that I am honored to be a part of the show. Playing Morrow was a joy. It was super fun playing all the little fun bad qualities that the bad guyish qualities that Morrow had, and Beta Jet, like the different characters throughout the seasons. But I want to tell the fans that I'm going to do the best that I can to be the best Cole that I, Andrew Francis, can be. I will never be Kirby. No one will ever be Kirby. No one will ever voice and bring the choices and the talent that Kirby uniquely had to that role ever again, whether it's me or anybody else, right? I know there's been a few different voices for Cole, I guess the movie and yada yada, but the main point is that what I will bring to Cole will be different. That it just will be. My choices towards lines, I don't have the same brain as Kirby, so I can't bring the same choices. My voice is not exactly the same as Kirby's. It will sound a little bit different. But I pledge to you that at every moment, at every record, anytime I'm in front of that microphone, Kirby is in my heart. I said it in my statement. We can feel the loving energy that Kirby always brought to every room that he was in. We feel it in every record. And I will do my best to continue the legacy of Cole the best that I personally can, for the cast, for Lego, for especially the fans. It will be different, but it will be Ninjago and it will be Cole. And it makes me a little bit emotional, but I will just do my best. And there will be people that don't like it. There will be people that do like it, but I am just going to hold love in my heart and bring the best that I can to each and every record and put it out there and hope that you like it. And if you don't, then that's okay. If you do like it, that's okay. And I wish loving energy and rest in peace, Kirby, because we miss you terribly.
Well said.
Shoot.
Well said, man.
Yeah.
Well said. I can speak on behalf of the cast. I don't think that we could have gotten a better guy to do the role. I know you're a fantastic actor. That's never ever been an issue. I can't personally wait to hear what you've done. I'm choked that we've done stuff, but not together. And I don't know how you're doing the character, but
yeah,
I know you're a good actor. I know you bring it. I know you research. I am 110% confident in you. I know that Tommy and Lego are. So I was excited and happy for you. Obviously, like, we talked on the phone right after it happened, and I was stoked for you. I think it's awesome. Welcome,
I'm trying to bring as many colisms as possible. I mean, like I
dude.
mentioned it. I researched. I like he has certain ways of saying things. You know
I
what I
know
mean? Like,
he's one
and
of a
so I
kind.
tried to
Yep.
find as many of those things.
He's
Yeah.
one of a kind. I'm sure you've done an awesome job, and I want to say thank you for taking your time to chat with me about obviously something that's still like affecting us and our community and
Yeah.
them as well, Ninjago community, and we're guiding through a very sensitive topic. It's still hard,
Yeah.
but thanks, dude. I love you and appreciate your friendship and the time, and we'll just say goodbye to our friends from now, and
Yeah.
I'll hopefully see you soon in session.
Yeah, well, I love you too, Brent. And as a closing word, I want to thank all of you Ninjago fans for being so welcoming. It's been overwhelming. I cried when I burst into tears when I let that statement out. You know, when I posted it first to Instagram, and then I cried many more times as I started reading the overwhelming support from the community. So Ninjago fans out there, I'm looking straight into that little camera. I think it's right there. You have been absolutely amazing, and from the bottom of my heart, Andrew Francis, I want to thank you for your support, and I hope you enjoy the performance. And if even if you don't, thank you so much for being so welcoming. You are truly special, and I your appreciation towards me and your welcoming spirit has meant the absolute world to me and has helped me with this process immensely. So I just want to say thank you, and I truly have so much love for all of you. Thank you so much.
They're all yelling, "We love you too, Andrew. You're the best. You have awesome hair. How do you do it? Your hair is amazing. Do you use gel? I don't know. Maybe it's
Not today.
natural."
I just threw a toucan. Yeah, maybe a little dry shampoo. I don't know.
All right, bro. Thanks for your time, man. I'll
Love
see
you,
you
man.
soon.
Yeah, see you soon.